think any prize that focuses on the talent that's out there amongst women just has to be a good thing. There is so many incredibly diverse women writers that the thing that I'm finding most exciting about it is discovering new writers, discovering new ways of storytelling, and that in a way is what's really key for me about this prize, because although it evolved from something that could potentially be seen as negative, it turned itself around so quickly into becoming a prize that everybody sees as being the best that's coming out from women writers. I read fiction all the time. It's a really big part of my life. Whether I'm asked to judge a prize or not, I'm very often not without a book. I've always read stories. To be asked to read stories and talk to other people about what you think about those stories strikes me as being an unbelievably privileged thing to be asked to do, but also incredibly exciting. I love talking to people about why stories work. We tell each other stories all the time in daily life. Everything about human exchange and dynamic is to do with storytelling. And when it's formalised in the context of a novel and different things are done with it, to me, the form of the novel there's nothing more exciting in terms of art than reading fiction. I think what I won't be looking for is very simple answers. I won't be looking for a book that only makes me think, I turned over the pages really quickly, or the character was somebody very like someone I knew. I won't be looking for very simple things. I'll be looking for tone, I'll be looking for atmosphere, things that stay with me long after I've read the book. When you read or are asked to read many, many, many books, it's very hard to try and think of what it is that will make you stay with that story. And I think the thing that will always stay is an atmosphere, a style, a tone, those qualities of a book that don't necessarily make you think that story was fantastic or that character was brilliant, but it's a mood. The mood of a book is something that I will look for time and again. So far, what's really struck me is how distinctly different each of the books has been. I have been staggered at how well written, how completely contemporary the style feels in each of the books in a very different way. I've loved the fact that the stories are set in lots of different parts of the world, which suits my sensibility because I work in kind of an international milieu all the time in my day job. But I've really enjoyed, I think I've just been very surprised at how much each book that I've read has made me think, oh my goodness, how are we going to choose? This is so tough. I know this might sound slightly surprising, but I'm quite looking forward to arguing for a book that I have loved. I'm quite looking forward to not necessarily, only being disputatious, but I think it will be very interesting to engage with the other judges about the things that we hold on to as individual readers. And obviously consensus is going to have to be reached at some point, but I am looking forward to the process of defending a book that I have been utterly charmed or beguiled by. Well, I've been the chair of judges for a prize before, so I have been in the position where I've had to mediate and say, okay, this is what I think and this is what's going to happen. I think I'm fairly persuasive, but I also am working with judges who I'm sure will have their own very, very strong qualities in terms of what they want to defend. I'm not averse to going along with what is generally agreed as well. I'm not one of those people who's going to say absolutely not, this has to win, and I will not take part in any discussion that doesn't bring that to the top. So I don't think I'll be like that. More than 100,000 books are published every year. I think people who buy books or who are interested in stories or wander past a bookstore and think, what do I read? I think if these prizes serve any function at all in terms of the readers, it's a guide. It's a potential guide. The long list can be a guide, the short list can be a guide, and the winner can be one that everyone will turn their minds to and possibly buy. I think it's really important when you've got so many books out there to give readers some sense of what rises to the top, you know, and it doesn't always work, because sometimes you can miss an absolute gem because you just haven't reached consensus over something. But I think for readers to not feel lost is great, and so that's what I think is really interesting for readers. For the writer, of course, the sky's the limit. You know, winning prizes, you know, puts you on a platform in a culture where reading is still not as high, in my opinion, as it ought to be. We live in such a visual culture that it's very hard for people to think in terms of something that's very slow and can have a very slow burn to it, you know, and reading is like that. So any prize that makes people feel, let's put reading and writing centre stage, has to be a good thing in my view.